Good morning, Wildcats, and welcome back. It is Friday, and we are talking about Season 2, Episode 7 of High School Musical, the series, The Field Trip. I would like to point out before we get into this review, because there's a ton to talk about, that I'm repping my East High Wildcat colors, just so you guys know where I align. None of this North High business. It is not for me, okay? Not here for it. Our Wildcat of the Week this week, drumroll please, is Carlos. And the reason I am picking Carlos as opposed to anyone else, because everyone kind of popped off this episode, is because Carlos is the one that instigates the investigation of North High. He is the one that says, I think they stole our mask. He's the one keeping up with all the information online. And he's the one that at the end is like, we have to defend Miss Jen's honor. The reason they get into the dance battle is arguably not because of wanting to prove North High wrong or prove how much better or more talented they are. It's more so about saying, you don't get to just talk about Miss Jen that way. Like, how dare you talk about Miss Jen that way? So I absolutely love that, and that's why I'm picking Carlos this week. Also, for him and Seb to be the only couple to walk away from this whole situation unshaken, that says enough in and of itself. I think Carlos has really grown as a character over the course of this season, and anytime I see him pop up, I absolutely love him. Now, onto my bop to the top moments, because there's so much I enjoyed about this episode. That's why this is starting to just become a love fest for High School Musical, the series, and not like a true review of it. Seb saying bop to the top. I couldn't not include this in my bop to the top moments of him literally saying the name of the song that inspired the segment on these reviews. So have to give him creds there. Totally something I would have said as a cringy, kind of just like not well thought out remark back to the person. The reveal that the mask was stolen by Zach or Zachy, oh my gosh, the way that was whole set up was absolutely brilliant. And yes, I hate it because screw North High. Not to get feisty, not to wake up and choose violence, but like, North High, you need to back off, okay? But the reveal of that mask being in the piano sheets right when you think Miss Jen and Zach might give it another go in their relationship, oh my gosh, that was so good. My jaw dropped multiple times this episode, but this was the first time that it did. My last bop to the top moment has to be everything with EJ and Gina, okay? I love them. I know we kind of got the sneak peek of them together at Carlos's quinceañero, and I know last episode we got a little bit more of them giving like knowing looks to one another, but this episode, first of all, seeing them as co-hosts, I love seeing the two of them together. I think they have such a great dynamic. And then, of course, my maybe favorite moment of the episode is when Gina is in the hallway of North High, pulls the Diane name that Ashlyn put out earlier, and is like, oh, I'm Diane, to that guy that's totally trying to hit on her. And EJ just swoops in, not that she needed saving, but swoops in, is just like, hey, babe. And we get a little glance at what it might look like if they had a relationship. Also, the risotto line is so funny because, like, when I was in high school, I don't think I knew what risotto was, nor could I be able to like cook it or have it for dinner. So I love that little like high class bougie like fake relationship that they were able to put on in those few minutes. Now, on to my screen moments and the drama between Ricky and Nene. The reason I put in my screen moments and not my actually bad is because even though it's really awkward and uncomfortable to watch, I like the development that is going on. In this season, we've seen a very different side of Ricky that I think is actually really good to see, because I think these are kind of behaviors that people don't necessarily recognize in high school of you just want to be in like a cute little high school relationship. You want to have everything be perfect all the time. And that is not healthy. It's also not healthy to do everything together or to not be able to express your feelings to the other person if you do need space. Like, space doesn't need to be like a Ross and Rachel, we were on a break type situation. I understand where Ricky's like hurt is coming from. He's seen his parents divorce and split up. Now he doesn't have that normal family structure. A lot is changing. And then right when he gets his girlfriend back, she goes to move to a boarding school. So I understand where his hurt is coming from, but I think he needs to find a more healthy way to channel it. All of that being said, I think it's very well written into the show, and I like to see the way the characters are reacting off of one another in that way. Another scream moment is the end of the episode. Nene going by Nina, which if you didn't catch why this was a bigger deal, in season 1, it was revealed when they're at that new theater and the power goes out and Ricky and Nene are playing piano that Nene is a nickname that Ricky gave Nene when they were children because he couldn't say Nina. The fact that she's going by this name means that she's distancing herself from Ricky, which doesn't mean she doesn't love him, that she obviously cares about him. When she was writing the song last week, she was texting him and calling him back. However, intentionally going by Nina seems like she's trying to potentially be a little hurtful to Ricky because she feels like he is all in her space and all up in her business about the way she's trying to go about her life and explore her future. But that's what I love about the show, is it's able to capture that nuance so perfectly of what it's like to be in a teenage relationship that is deeper and not just dismiss it as either the MTV CW version of being a teenager in high school, which is you're doing sex, drugs, and stopping murders and fighting werewolves and vampires, or the OG Disney Channel thing where everything is peachy all the time. It's all sunshine and rainbows. Last but not least, I said that my jaw dropped multiple times throughout this episode. The most shocking reveal of this episode is that Howie goes to North High. And ironically, when Courtney is texting him the whole episode, I'm thinking, where does he go to school? He's got to go to school around here somewhere. Does he go to like a private school that they're just not addressing? Like, what's going on? And then the minute she's alone with that beast mask and that ringtone goes off, my jaw dropped to the floor and I was just like, are you serious? He goes to North High, and not only does he go to North High, which shouldn't be that big of a problem, but that he's in the play and he didn't tell her any of this information previously. I know the relationship is new, but holy cow, that is crazy, and I can't wait to see how that's addressed next week's episode. The thing that I actually have a little bit of a gripe with this episode, and some of the other episodes in this season, but this is the first time I'm really addressing it, we keep getting cliffhangers. We got the cliffhanger that Gina was moving away. She's not. Then last week, Carlos filming Nene in the auditorium when she specifically said to Courtney, please don't tell Ricky about this. Like, I need some time to like explain this to him and make sure he doesn't take it the wrong way. Carlos posts it, and then it's like, oh, it blew up. Like, it's no problem. I feel like that's a story cop-out. I understand we don't need to see absolutely everything that happens, but I don't like that it feels like we're missing multiple days of these really big cliffhangers being addressed. All that needed to be was a conversation between Gina and her mom talking some sense into her. I just need these cliffhangers addressed slightly more than what we're getting thus far. And now for the slightest change that I have for these little reviews, I'm gonna stop doing ratings, because if I gave a rating to this episode, it would be another 5 out of 5. And I don't think any of us really want to keep getting 5 out of 5s every week, because it's been that way for the last 3 weeks. So we're just going to go away with the rating system. I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but you can tell in the rest of the review how much I really love the episode. And I'll straight up tell you if I don't like one. Instead, I want to do a main takeaways segment. So the things I'm leaving this episode having been changed or being excited for the rest of the season. My number one thing is that this show is so smart. This show is so intelligent. The writing, the references to Evan Hansen, to the original High School Musical trilogy, to all of these other things. I love that. I love how the show knows how teenagers talk, specifically theater kids. There's such attention to detail with each of these characters, and I just have to commend the show for that. My other thing is that I'm an EJ and Gina shipper. Listen, they are the most interesting ship of the season just because they have this whole, like, they have good history together. And I like that I don't know where it's gonna go. They could end up just being friends, but there's that sneak peek of next week's episode, if you watched it after this week's episode, that she's gonna be over at his house, or he comes to Ashlyn's house and they're kind of hanging out and talking. So I'm really excited to get to see more of that. And I ship them so much. So those are my main things for this episode. I absolutely loved it, but what did you think? Please let me know in the comments down below. You can do the full system, the trio of the Wildcat of the Week, the Bop to the Top, Scream. I promise I'll read it. Be sure to like this video and subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss any of these episode reviews. And I also have some really exciting news before I end this video. So last week, as you guys know, I missed doing an upload on Friday. So I did a live stream on Sunday to kind of supplement the review, and you guys really liked it. So this week I am planning on Sunday, but I will obviously have notifications and I'll post some stuff ahead of time so you guys know when the live is going to happen. But I'm thinking sometime Sunday I will do a live where we just talk about the episode. It doesn't have to be that strictly of a review that way, but we can just kind of talk about everything. And I think that will be a really fun format to get to interact with you guys, but also have you guys have my succinct thoughts in this video. Thank you guys again for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of those notifications about live streams, future reviews, or any of my other content. I so appreciate you guys. Have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.